Okay, so I want to talk about how social media is used to keep a cap on your consciousness. So I made a previous audio about seeing people as consciousness, how it can release you from shame and guilt and all of that stuff. Now I want to talk about how lately I haven't seen them, like I said, because I haven't been looking at social media, but it seems to be when I click on a YouTube video, I still see this little news clip or whatever of a police officer harassing a black man. I noticed that even if I'm not looking at Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Okay. It's like they're making sure that no matter what outlet we're using, we're going to see this. And so I'm seeing black women who have once said that black women have it hard, who knew that black women were struggling. Now they're turning around and saying, "Oh, but the black man has it so hard. The black man has it so hard." And I know everybody's not falling for this. Okay, I know that everybody's not falling for this, but I made an audio before called divestment from most black women. I don't have anything against most black women, but I'm just noticing a lot of black women, especially the ones that's on social media, especially the ones that I hear on social media, they seem to not be moving along in their consciousness. I don't care how smart they are. I don't care what spiritual practices they're into. I don't care how much they know about Egypt and Kemet. It's something that is holding them back. Okay, and this is why I said that it's best to be more diverse into different groups of people, so you can get your mind off, and not only get your mind off the black men, but get your mind off of so-called black women too. Okay, because I'm seeing certain so-called black women with this consciousness of that they feel like the black man has it harder than black women. I can't agree with that, but I'm going to say this. If black men do have it harder, why do they have it harder? Because because they were in a patriarchy. They were supposed to be patriarchs. And I'm going to tell you something. When black women are the ones, if black women apologize for anything, I'm going to say this right here. If black women can apologize for anything, they need to apologize for not holding them accountable. For some reason, black women don't want to apologize for that part. Black women seem to apologize for not calling them. So, like, when the black woman gets online and they sound harsh because they want to hold black men accountable, and they might sound a little harsh, and then black men get on and say, "Oh, you must hate black men." That's that gaslighting stuff, you know. And then that same black woman comes back and apologize for holding black men accountable. That's what she's wrong for. That is why black men are being beaten up left and right. Because black women, the minute they hold black men accountable, they are shamed. They are made to feel like they hate black men, and then they turn around and retract and take everything back. And that part right there is what have made black men into punks. That right there, retracting, holding them accountable, you no longer holding them accountable because they always want to gaslight and make it seem like you hate them because you want to hold them accountable. Now, I don't hold them accountable. I don't hold black women accountable. I don't hold black men accountable because I don't care about either group like that. I've kind of moved on. Like it's like we're evolving, and when you evolve, you just really can't care about anybody according to whatever their color is. You need to be more concerned with the spirit of a person besides their color. So that's why I say I'm no longer trying to hold a group of people accountable, because that's low consciousness. I don't do that. It's not that I'm like nasty towards black women, but I'm not interested in holding either one of them accountable, because I feel like we're evolving past looking at somebody's color. you know because if you think about some of the people that you might get along with the most, they might not always have brown skin. And so you don't want to be stuck on somebody because they have brown skin, or stuck on a group of women because they got brown skin. But goodness well, you don't hardly have nothing in common with them anyway. Okay, because that's not really your soul group. That's not really your soul group. Just because they're brown skin doesn't mean that's your soul group. That's why I don't put a whole lot of attention on them, because I've noticed through the years that I've tried so hard, especially with the bashing of black women over since 2006. Of course, I didn't see it back then because I wasn't looking at YouTube and all that stuff. And then a lot of people wasn't paying attention to what was on the radio, even though we knew it was bad lyrics. But we a lot of us were more awakened to the hatred through when listening to YouTube. Okay, because that's when they were free to really say whatever they want to say. But and so during that time, I remember when I realized the hatred, I really tried to bond more with black women, but it's almost like I was trying to fit a circle into a square peg every time I was trying to fit a circle into a square peg. Now, it's nothing against them. It's just for me to realize that is not my soul group. That's not who I click with. Just because I got brown skin doesn't mean that we are compatible. I'm not compatible with brown women, black women. I'm not compatible with them. Okay. And that's how you got to look at things. It's not a bad thing. It's just how you have to look at things. And I'm seeing this consciousness. I'm seeing this thing that's going around because this is what I started talking about, how these videos are going all over social media of police brutality. And like I said in my last audio about how it's probably was a good thing that a lot of the youth probably wasn't really raised by their parents, because black people have a hard time advancing in their consciousness. They have a hard time evolving. They don't evolve. It's like this scenario with the police brutality keeps taking them backwards. It keeps taking them backwards where they cannot evolve. They keep staying stuck in racism. They keep staying stuck in Jim Crow. And I feel like that's a powerful tool that is used. Now, it might seem like I'm going to the left, but I'm not. It seems like that is a powerful tool that's being used because a certain supremacy needs to stay in place. And I'm not necessarily talking about white supremacy. I'm talking about maybe a certain religion. Maybe Catholicism might depend on things like that. It's almost like a lot of these, for a lot of these systems to stay in place, it's kind of dependent on a lot of black people consciousness staying low. And that doesn't just include the black people in the United States of America. It's the black people worldwide. It's almost like it's dependent on black people worldwide, their consciousness being low. And I'm seeing how it's being used in the United States. Black people cannot advance. And that's why I was talking about when I make these audios, it's for those few black women, so-called black women. I don't, like to really, call you black, but because people are used to that word, I don't want to force them into using different, words. But my audios were for the few, so-called black women that were really going to evolve. And when I say evolve, I'm not just talking about going to another race of people and saying, F the black man, we're going to go to this person. That's not necessarily evolving. That's not necessarily evolving. I'm talking about evolving your consciousness where you really just don't see color and you really see the spirit of the person more than you see their color. I'm talking about that kind of evolving, okay? Because if you just purely look at somebody's color and discriminate against them, and then you look at somebody else's color and think they all good, that's not evolving. That's not even good judgment. That's not even good judgment, okay? But yeah, so I'm still working on trying not to get annoyed by just seeing black women's titles, because I don't click on their videos, but just when I see that their titles, I'm just annoyed at how lost they are. Even it just confirms that we're really not matched. I'm not compatible with black women, and it's not a negative thing that I'm saying, but I'm just not compatible. I'm not compatible with them, and that's why I let it go, because I was trying to bond with a group of people that I just don't have anything in common with, besides skin color, besides listening to similar music, besides growing up in certain areas or living in certain areas. Other than that, or eating certain foods. Other than that, we're just not spiritually. We're not compatible. We're just not compatible. Okay. But yeah, I'm just seeing how social media is being used to push police brutality. And what I was saying about going left is that it's used to seem like it's being used to keep a certain supremacy in place. I heard somebody earlier speak about Catholicism. And for some reason, I feel like pushing this kind of narrative is connected to making sure that certain religions stay in place. Now, I'm going to tell you why I think that. Because once black people, especially black women, not necessarily black men, I think black men, they're not really concerned about black men rising up. They don't want black women to rise up. And it's working. Something is wrong with black women, but I'm not going to worry about that because it can't be my problem. Well, we're not even spiritually compatible. That can't even be my problem, you know. But this is being pushed to mess with black women, not black men. You see more black women talking about this. It seems like black men aren't talking about it as much as black women because they. I said this before, there's raising up of Osiris and all that stuff, but I don't care about that. I'm just saying that they need black women's energy. They need her. They need black women to be distracted. Okay, for black women not to realize that they've had it so hard and say, oh, but the black man has had it harder, and they don't realize what they've been through. Something is terribly wrong, and I'm at the point where you just got to stay away from a consciousness like that. It's very, very dangerous at this point. You can't even worry about, it's one thing to say that, you're not going to worry about waking them up, but they're dangerous. They're very hazardous. A woman like that, with that consciousness, is very hazardous to your health when so many black women can die in record numbers, in high numbers, and you can't even see your own humanity because you're so worried about the black man's humanity that you can't see that women that look like you are dying and getting killed in high rates. You can't even recognize your humanity because you're too busy looking at the black man's humanity. Is not only is she something, she's dangerous. She's dangerous to life. That type of consciousness is dangerous to life. They're dangerous to life. Okay, yeah, and I think this is purposely done just to keep the black woman from rising, not to keep the black man, but that the black women stay in that consciousness. They won't. They can't get out of it. A lot of them just, they won't get out of it. And this is why I said it's probably a good thing that some of them, those young black women and young ladies that's in their 20s, yeah, they seem real lost right now. But the good thing is that they are less likely to have a cap on their consciousness like more of the older school people. They're more of a free spirit. Once they get out of whatever's going on and they get a little older, they're going to move past that type of thinking that some of these black women seem to be stuck in. They're going to move out of that way of thinking. Like, look at Meg Thee Stallion. I don't listen to her music because I stopped listening to the radio altogether. But I hear certain black men on YouTube that have complained about some of the things that she has said. And I guess she's with a non-black man. I don't know. See, think about her generation. Okay, they might seem like little thoughts. They might seem like hood rats, whatever you want to call them. But one thing they are not, they're not stuck in an archaic type of mentality like a lot of these black women are. These older black women, like Generation X and baby boomer and all of that stuff. They have it the worst. Now women, you have some black women in their 30s, they pretty bad too. But they not. It seems like they can't be released from this consciousness that's on them. And so, like I said, it was probably a good thing that some of these children were raised without that type of parental guidance, because a lot of black people they real lost. They're real lost. They stay stuck in timelines. They cannot make it out of it. They stay stuck in time. I don't care how much magic they practicing. They seem to. I don't care how many candles they burn. I don't care how many herbs they use. They seem to still have a cap on their consciousness when it comes to blackness. They seem to still have a cap on their consciousness. They cannot evolve. I don't care what kind of what kind of practices they're into. They have a cap on their consciousness, you know. Um, but anyway, that's all I want to say. The main message was just to just really talk about how a lot of this stuff that's being, these videos being shared on social media about this police brutality is done to keep people from evolving, to keep you in a timeline, to keep you in a in a mindset, to keep you in a victimized mentality, okay? But it's not done to keep the black man down. It's done to keep black women from rising. Because black men don't seem to care to fight for themselves. So it's done to keep to put black women back in the front lines, fighting for them like they did with with the what is it called? Black Lives Matter. Yeah, Black Lives Matter. Put them back in the front lines again. You know. So that'll be it. And I think, like I said, it's done to keep certain systems in place, like Catholicism, certain religions, because if you allow the black woman to rise up in consciousness, then they're going to lose their power. See, other people rising up is not really a threat, even though they're trying to keep everybody confused. To be honest with you, the media is used to keep everybody asleep, especially in the United States of America. But really, they want to make sure that above all people, the so-called black women don't ever wake up, because she cannot get back to her divinity, because then it's going to overturn Catholicism. She's going to remember who she is, and it's going to overturn a lot of the powerful systems that are in place. And that's why they have to make sure that black women, so-called black women, never return to their divinity, because it's going to overturn them. And they always use this police brutality. It works every single time. And that's why I always started my channel in the hopes of the certain black women who will evolve. If they are going to evolve, the best thing for them to do is really not listen to a lot of black women who are content creators. And to be honest with you, you can't deal with too many people, period. I'm just going to keep it real, that you really can't spend too much time around people, period. To be honest with you, people altogether are dangerous to your evolution. Altogether. I don't care what color they are, because a lot of people have not evolved. A lot of people are stuck in the archaic way of living, okay? But definitely the worst kind of people to be around or to listen to are black women, unfortunately. They're the most dangerous people to listen to, because they have a huge cap on their consciousness. It's not coming off. But to be honest with you, a lot of people in the world have a cap on their consciousness. It's not too many people that's going to make it. I'm just going to keep that real. It's not going to be too many people who are going to rise anyway. But the most dangerous person to listen to right now at this time, from what I'm seeing from the recommendations in my titles, the worst person, the most dangerous person to listen to are black women. And that's why I said check out my audio. It was about the black woman's millionaire. It was a black woman millionaire, and I was talking about her advice for black girls. It's called Black Woman Millionaires Advice for Young Black Girls. And in that audio, my advice was for young black girls to stay away from black people, because black people have this pro-black consciousness on them that keeps them low. It keeps them very low. It keeps them from being multidimensional. It keeps them from opening up to different perceptions of reality. It keeps you very closed off. It keeps you very closed off. And being around too many black people have black girls and black women forgetting about themselves and thinking about the men, even though they see it's clear as day that the men don't protect them, the men don't provide for them, but for some reason they're supposed to be feeling sorry for them. See, and those kind of black women, that always apologize because when they hold black men accountable, maybe they sound a little rough when they hold black men accountable, and then they turn around the very next day and apologize for it. But then those same black women have so many negative things to say about other black women. They talk about black women wearing weaves. They talk about black women wearing makeup. But then the one time you want to hold black men accountable and it sounds a little rough, here they go apologizing to black men, but they have yet to apologize to black women for being rough, for always critiquing them, for always being so nasty. These same black women who always want to apologize to black men have said worse things to black women, but they have yet to apologize to them. I really feel like those women are very dangerous. But like I said, yeah, that'll be it. That's why I said it's just best for black girls to just get away from black people, get away from that consciousness, because black people stay stuck in this victim mentality. They use these police brutality videos to keep you stuck in a mentality that you are inferior, that you're at the bottom, that your color is going to stop you from getting places. So anyway, that'll be it, and I will talk to you later.